You know, some moments in life are just pure cinema. Imagine this. You're wearing your favorite watch, one you've cherished for years. Suddenly, someone, with all the confidence in the world, points at it and declares, "That's a fake." Awkward, right? Well, something like that actually happened. But the ending is probably not what you'd expect. Today, we're diving into the insane, almost unbelievable story of a watch that was once dismissed as a knockoff, only to shatter world records at auction. This isn't just a story about a watch, it's a tale of hidden treasures, expert eyes, and the biggest "I told you so" moment in horological history. Let's set the scene. We're talking about the world of high-end watch collecting. It's a place where passion meets precision and where fortunes can be spent on a tiny machine that fits on your wrist. The crown jewel in this world. Many would argue it's Patek Philippe. This brand is the pinnacle of Swiss watchmaking, synonymous with luxury, complication, and insane resale value. Owning a Patek is like owning a piece of art that also tells time. And within the Patek universe, there's one model that's the stuff of legends. The Grandmaster Chime. The Grandmaster Chime isn't just a watch, it's a masterpiece. It boasts 20 complications, which are basically different functions a watch can perform beyond just telling time. We're talking about things like a perpetual calendar, a minute repeater, a second time zone, and a whole lot more. It's so complex, it has two faces. A reversible case, so you can switch between a dial for timekeeping and another one for all the calendar functions. It took over 100,000 hours to develop and assemble. To put that in perspective, that's more than 11 years of non-stop work. This is the Mount Everest of watchmaking. So, where does our story begin? It begins with a very special version of this already legendary watch. In 2019, the Only Watch charity auction was on the horizon. This is a huge event where the world's most prestigious watchmakers create unique, one-of-a-kind timepieces to be auctioned off for charity, specifically to fund research into Duchenne muscular dystrophy. For this event, Patek Philippe decided to create a truly unique Grandmaster Chime, reference 6300010. What made it so special? Well, for the first and only time, they made it in stainless steel. Now, you might be thinking, stainless steel? Isn't that what my kitchen sink is made of? What's the big deal? In the world of ultra-luxury watches, using steel for your most complicated watch ever is a power move. Brands like Patek usually reserve their grand complications for precious metals like gold or platinum. Making one in steel is like seeing the Queen of England wearing sneakers to a state dinner. It's unexpected, it's bold, and it instantly makes the piece unbelievably rare and desirable. This watch also had a beautiful salmon-colored dial on one side and a black dial on the other, with the inscription "The Only One" on the sub-dial. Just to make it clear, this was a unicorn. Leading up to the auction, the hype was unreal. The watch community was buzzing. Experts were throwing around wild predictions. Would it break the record for the most expensive watch ever sold? The previous record was held by a Rolex Daytona owned by Paul Newman, which sold for $17.8 million. People thought this Patek could go for 20, maybe even 25 million. But nobody, and I mean nobody, was prepared for what was about to happen. Now, let's get to the juicy part of the story. The part from the title. The exact details are a bit like folklore in the watch community, passed around in forums and conversations. But the essence of the story is this. Somewhere, at some event before the big auction, a very proud owner or perhaps an associate connected to the watch was showing it off, and a woman who clearly fancied herself a bit of an expert took one look at it and scoffed. She allegedly declared it a fake. Her reasoning: Patek doesn't make a grandmaster diamond steel. You can just imagine the silence in that room, the sheer audacity to call out what is arguably the most important watch of the decade as a fake. It's the kind of confidence that can only come from knowing a little bit about a subject, but not enough. She was right, in a way. Patek asterisk doesn't asterisk normally make this watch in steel. But that was the entire point. That's what made it a one-of-one masterpiece created for a specific, high-profile charity auction. It's a classic case of a little knowledge being a dangerous thing. She knew the rule, but she didn't know about the exception that proved the rule. We can only speculate on the reaction of the person she said this to. A quiet smile, a polite correction. Or maybe they just let her think she was right, knowing the ultimate vindication was just around the corner. Because that's exactly what happened next. The day of the only watch auction in Geneva arrived. The room was electric. The world's wealthiest collectors were there, either in person or on the phone, ready to battle. When the Patek Philippe Grandmaster chime-in steel came up, the bidding started fast and furious. The numbers climbed at a dizzying pace. 1 million, 5 million, 10 million. It blew past the $17.8 million record of the Paul Newman Daytona without even blinking. The room was gasping. The auctioneer could barely keep up. The bids kept coming, climbing higher and higher. 20 million, 25 million. The bidding war raged on. Finally, it slowed down. The final hammer price, 31,000. Lion Swiss francs. When you convert that to US dollars at the time and add the buyer's premium, the grand total came to an absolutely mind-boggling $48.5 million. Let me say that again. $48.5 million. For a watch. A watch that someone, somewhere, had confidently dismissed as a fake. The news sent shockwaves through not just the watch world, but the entire luxury market. It wasn't just a new record, it obliterated the old one. It made this stainless steel Patek Philippe the most expensive timepiece ever sold in human history. And every single dollar went to a fantastic cause, fighting a terrible disease. It's the ultimate feel-good story of a luxury item making a real-world difference. But let's go back to that woman. Can you imagine how she felt when she saw the headlines? The watch she called a fake didn't just sell. It made history. It became a global news story. It's a powerful lesson, isn't it? Don't be so quick to judge. What might look wrong or out of place too? You might just be exceptionally rare. In the world of collectibles, the exceptions are often far more valuable than the rules. This story is the ultimate example. So what makes a watch worth nearly $50 million? It's a perfect storm of factors. First, the brand. Patek Philippe is at the absolute top. Second, the complexity. The Grandmaster Chime is their most complicated wristwatch ever. Third, the material. The unique use of stainless steel for this model makes it an anomaly, a true piece unique. Fourth, the occasion. Being the star of the prestigious Only Watch charity auction adds an incredible amount of provenance and feel-good factor. And finally, the inscription, the only one, which is the ultimate guarantee of exclusivity. You're not just buying a watch, you're buying a singular moment in horological history. This story has become a modern legend. It's a reminder that true value isn't always obvious. It often hides in the details, in the story, and in the context. That steel Patek wasn't just metal and gears. It was a symbol of craftsmanship, charity, and a record-breaking moment that people will be talking about for generations. And it all started with a bold claim. That's a fake. It just goes to show you should always do your homework, because you never know if you're looking at a worthless copy or a $48 million masterpiece. Thanks for sticking with me through this incredible story. If you love tales about hidden treasures and epic collectibles, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more. What's the wildest mistaken identity story you've ever heard? Let me know down in the comments. Until next time, stay curious.